So good afternoon. Welcome on board. It's just coming up to 6 minutes after 4 o'clock. This is GBNews on TV, online and on digital radio. I'm Nana Akua. Now, Boris Johnson had everything and his critics hated him for it. And yes, he had his flaws, but I'm afraid the Tory party have fallen into the trap set up by those embittered by Boris's appeal. And the losers, like slippery Starmer, Dollar's dishwater, who's just slithered off the hook, the Durham police have decided not to issue him with a fine after Beergate. I bet the Labour Party are gutted. Getting rid of him was their best chance of winning a majority. Keir led the charge in holding Boris to account for the behaviour of Chris Pincher, whilst those in Keir's party, like Wes Streeting, who posted these messages on Twitter, where he called for someone to die under a train, are still in his party. Let me read you some of Wes's tweets. Now, this is obviously what he wrote when he's a student, and these are the words that he used. There would be nothing natural about Jan Noir's death if I shoved the bigoted old bag under a train. He has since apologised. But then, in 2018, he uses the F word. And again, more tweets where Wes has actually left them on his Twitter timeline. You can see them for yourself, or even watch this show back, either via the app or go on YouTube. You can read them. Yet there is no sign of Sir Keir Starmer tending his resignation on the grounds that people like that remain in post. Now, Wes Streeting has even been bandied about as a potential leadership contender. I think not. Others who've come out of the woodwork to bash Boris include Sir John Major, who is so dull he could actually be a piece of wood. He's called for Boris to leave post immediately, which is, I think, what happened to him when he was shoved out of government, as if that's in the best interests of the country. Ridiculous. Why doesn't he just blend back into the woodwork? Theresa May, another Boris basher, she had a chance. She blew her majority and didn't understand the Belfast Agreement, which is why we're in this mess with Northern Ireland. She's apparently making a load of cash on the public speaking circuit, although why anyone would be interested in anything she has to say is beyond me. And the established mafia. Sorry, I mean the media. The BBC, who were pulled up on many occasions over their reporting of Boris, it simply wasn't in their interest for him to be a success, what with Nadine Dorries breathing down their neck. I mean, really, in this day and age, a licence fee simply doesn't wash. The likes of Channel 4, who didn't want to be privatised, and along with Sky News and all the others with their left-wing Remain bias, getting rid of Boris certainly wouldn't do them any harm. They all literally called for Boris's resignation at every turn, ignoring the indiscretions of the opposition. And, of course, also to blame, the Tory party itself. Some envious MPs and some of Boris's cabinet, like Nadine Zahawi, Sajid Javid and Rishi Sunak, many whom Boris had shown kindness and loyalty to, stabbing him in the back. Now, I'm not saying that Boris is perfect and that on some things he's only got himself to blame, but it is clear that his critics in government just couldn't handle his positivity, his energy and charisma. It wound them up. Most people who criticise him didn't vote for him and still don't accept the democratic mandate to leave the EU. Even in his final speech, Boris remained dignified and positive. His critics still found something wrong with that. So what's your focus on the leadership and the cost of living as it spirals out of control? We are in paralysis as our politicians once again focus on themselves. It's irresponsible, egotistical behaviour, and it's going to cost them. In my view, this is the single most stupid thing the Tory party has done to itself. It's ill-judged, badly timed and not in the best interests of the country. Boris, sit back, let them implode. Go and make a load of money on the circuit like your millionaire critics, most of whom were useless. One thing's for sure, Putin couldn't be happier. That should tell you everything you need to know.